Hey everyone, this is Josh. I am talking to you from San Diego, California, and I just wanted to take this time, this Friday evening, to explain specifically promotions as a musician in the Marine Corps. This is something I didn't know much about, but after living it, of course, you learn a little bit more, and I know a lot of you have questions out there about how promotions in the Marine Corps work, enlisted promotions, and specifically how promotions as a musician work. And just to give you a little bit of background about my experience, I joined the Marine Corps through the delayed entry program in 2009. Spent about a year in that program working, meeting weekly with my recruiter, trying to improve my physical fitness and improving my knowledge, learning all of the rank structure, a little bit about military history and how things worked, so I'd be ready for boot camp. Went to boot camp in July of 2010, and then I was a musician for a few years, and then I became a Marine security guard, and I got out of the Marine Corps in 2017, late 2017, as a staff sergeant. I am so thankful, for my time in the service. It's done me so many great things, and I hope to talk to you more about it later. But promotion is a big part of life in the military, and I had a lot of things that kind of worked out in my way, and I hope to kind of share some of the knowledge and some of the experience that I had, so that way, if you join the Marine Corps or if you're a young Marine, hopefully some of my advice can help you. And that's what I'm here to do. I love helping Marines. I left as a staff sergeant. That's, I think, is my bread and butter, is being in that small unit where, I'm able to mentor people. And hopefully I can mentor you and kind of help you out. And yeah, so let's begin. So if you want to join the Marine Corps as a musician, lucky for you, you've likely grown up like I did, learning your instrument. For me, I started playing the alto saxophone when I was 10 years old. So by the time I joined the Marine Corps, I had nearly 10 years of music experience. I had already almost 10 years of experience with my job before I even joined the military. Now that's different from a lot of other MOSs or military occupational specialties where you know nothing on day one and the Marine Corps trains you. If you're a musician, this is completely different. You cannot join the Marine Corps as a musician without prior music experience. There is no way you can learn any musical instrument without having prior experience. I had 1 year, my final year in elementary school. I had 3 years in middle school, 4 years in high school, and for over 4 years, I had a private music teacher. Pretty much my entire time as a musician before joining the Marines, I had a private music teacher that helped me, and that made a huge difference. And I'll talk about Marine Corps audition requirements as a musician later on. Especially if you request it. I have a lot of different topics that I want to talk about later on, but right now we're going to just talk about promotions. So the awesome thing is, as a musician, the Marine Corps recognizes that you are coming to the military with prior experience. You're not like a cook or an infantryman. They can't teach you from the ground up. You have to come with experience. And so they recognize that, and so they give you a little bit more accelerated promotions. And so when you join, when you talk to your recruiter and you go through MEPS, you will sign a U2 primary incentive job skill. It's a sheet of paper that guarantees that you'll be promoted a little bit quicker than the Marine standing next to you. So when I graduated boot camp, when I enlisted, I was guaranteed that when I would graduate boot camp, I would graduate as a private first class. That's an E2. And that within 6 months of active duty, I would be promoted to Lance Corporal, E3. And that within 2 years or 24 months of active duty, I'd be promoted to Corporal. And within 36 months, I'd be promoted to sergeant if I had a bachelor's degree, but it turns out that that didn't matter because I ended up doing a lot of other things to get promoted quicker anyway, so that requirement didn't matter. Officially, if you join as a musician, you have to have a bachelor's degree if you want to get promoted to sergeant by the end of your 4-year contract. So when you meet with your recruiter, ask about incentives and ask about promotion schedules, because these things tend to change pretty regularly. I mean, they stay kind of consistent, and then one day they'll just change. I joined over 10 years ago, so things might be a little bit different, but as far as I understand, they're pretty similar. So, but I looked up some information right now, and things while a lot has changed, a lot has stayed the same. So I looked for fiscal year 20. That's our, the latest. They are giving a $6,000 bonus if you join as a musician. $6,000. That's not chump change. That's a lot of money. For me, when I joined, it was $10,000, and that money is taxable. So out of $10,000, I got probably $8,600, something like that. So if you join this year, you're going to get $6,000. That might be $5,500 or $5,000, something like that. So that's something to talk to your recruiter about. Make sure that you get that in writing and that your contract guarantees that you'll get it. I had to follow up and actually do a little bit of homework and kind of bug people to make sure I got it. They're not just going to give it to you. It has to be in writing. And when you get to your unit, you're going to have to bug your admin section to make sure you get it. So that's something to pay attention to. Another thing to keep in mind is time and grade and time and service requirements. I kind of referred to that earlier. Starting this year, actually like a couple months ago, time and service requirements are changing. Before, you had to be if you wanted to be a sergeant, you had to have 24 months active duty. Now it has to be 48 months, so that's 4 years. This is a very, very recent change. Things are a little bit different. However, meritorious requirements are unchanged as far as I understand. Okay, but before you even get there, when you graduate, so let's go back. So you graduate boot camp as a E2, private first class. That's awesome. You're going to go to Marine combat training for a month, and then you might have a month of guard duty if you're lucky like me, and then you'll go to 6 months of School of Music, and then you'll finally get to your unit, to your band, wherever you're assigned. I was assigned to Camp Pendleton, and within however many months, I was promoted to corporal. I deployed to Afghanistan in 2012, and I came back. A few months later, I joined MSG. And so here's my advice for you. Your first enlisted ranks up to promotion to sergeant, so from especially lance corporal, corporal to sergeant, they have what's called a cutting score. A cutting score is your total points that kind of encompass, your rifle score, your physical fitness score. All these things are tied together. Even your, your review, your pro cons. 4.242 is really, really good. All these things kind of tie together to give you a final score. You need a certain score to get promoted. Now, how can you raise that score? I saw a lot of Marines completely ignoring the fact that they would get 100 free bonus points if they met their education bonus. So for me, I went out of my way to make sure that I got my military PME done for each rank. So as a lance corporal and a corporal, I would have those points. So I always maxed out my education points, and that's an extra 100 bonus points. When I was a corporal, I joined Marine Security Guard duty, McKessage. So that was an extra 100 points. So I was a corporal, completed MSG school, and I got an additional 100 points. I didn't need 100 points. I still got them, and that was more than enough to put me at the top of the list to get promoted to sergeant. And you can do that too. If you want to do a special duty assignment, you will get those 100 extra bonus points. And that's awesome. You should definitely do that, because especially while you are on a special duty assignment, they give you extra points to help you get promoted. And that's how I was able to get promoted so fast to sergeant. And then while I was a sergeant, I competed for meritorious promotion to staff sergeant. And I can talk about meritorious promotions later, how that works. But for now, if you have any questions about how promotions work in the Marine Corps, specifically with enlisted promotions as a Marine musician, please leave a comment. Please like and subscribe and let me know, and I can make a video in the future. We're all here on quarantine. We all got to keep ourselves busy and motivated. I know I was motivated when I was in high school to join the Marine Corps, and I hope you guys are motivated too. And none of that will change when we're on lockdown. So hope everything's going well for you guys, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.